Chapter 2: The History of Mastermind. Over time, humanity has forgotten that conversation is a true art. The past has been forgotten, the past that offered an invaluable set of tools to understand the present and to build the future. The human being is the same, and life of humanity is a continuous series of historical courses and recourses. In ancient Greece and ancient Rome, the Symposium, or convivium, was the convivial practice that followed a banquet, during which the participants drank, talked, sang, played, danced, and joked together. The first written testimony of the Symposium is on the so-called Nestor Cup. It's a geometric cup of the second half of the 8th century BC. The word symposium comes from Greek and means drinking together. Convivium comes from the Latin meaning living together. There were two types: the good symposium, like the Spartan Sysistia, admired by many authors, and had become an example to be followed and praised of the sobriety of the custom, where the participants shared food and drinks described by law. These meals were an educational means in which young people participated and witnessed political discussions, and the bad symposium, based on vulgarity, sexual excesses, and drinking wine in order to get drunk. These were occasions for drinking and love, during which the participants drank too much and gave free venting without limits to conversations, as well as occasions of political celebration and conspiracies. In the symposium, the participants had ideologies and aspirations of equal intent and recognized themselves as a political association formed by adult male citizens, and shared the same concept of life, usually inclined towards oligarchy. It was a moment of particularly important and articulate social life. It was a convention, a moment of cultural dialogue, a sort of collective ritual of exchange of ideas and opinions on various subjects. It combined the pleasure of conversing and of being together to poetry, music, dance, food, and wine. Sharing the meal had a social identification value and brought the people who participated closer to each other. The closeness was also due to the modest size of the banquet halls, which allowed each of the diners to see and hear all the others. Among the favorite topics of conversation, there were often philosophical and literacy themes, and it was a moment of great political and social implications, but also ethical, sacred, and religious. It was a training ground of wisdom made of sharp and cultured conversations. The banquet was a true institution for the Greek aristocracy and for the ruling class who meant to talk about politics and culture. With the passing of time, with the decrease of political conflicts and the development of city structures, the symposium became a private meeting among friends, while still maintaining the spirit of social aggregation. Today, the concept is basically the same. The concept of the Mastermind Group is treated for the first time with conviction, passion, and enthusiasm by Napoleon Hill in his book, The Law of Success, published in 1920. Hill was one of the first producers of the modern literacy genre of the personal success and was a consultant of the U.S. President Franklin Roosevelt. He discovered that the secret of the people who had accumulated great wealth was in fact the presence of a support group. He was inspired by the businessman Andrew Carnegie, a representative of the American dream. He left Scotland, where he was born, when he was very young in order to go into the United States to find his fortune. In 1865, he founded his company, the Carnegie Steel Company, which made Pittsburgh the capital of the iron and steel industry of Carnegie, one of the richest men in the world. He built one of the most powerful and influential companies in American history and became very wealthy. According to some, his patrimony revalued in dollars was the second highest ever and the fifth highest in relation to the U.S. gross national product. At age of 65, he sold his company to the banker J.P. Morgan for $480 million and dedicated the rest of his life to writing and philanthropic activities, and he donated around $350 million to finance, co-fund, and establish universities, libraries, and museums around the world. Andrew Carnegie was surrounded by a group of 50 men with the objective of becoming the leader of the production and sales of steel. He stated that the merit of his entire fortune was to be attributed to the power and knowledge accumulated through his group. Napoleon Hill also interviewed the 6 richest people in Boston at the time. He too, it came to light that the secret was the presence of this support group. They met when they had nothing, but thanks to mutual help, exchange of experience, knowledge, and resources that became successful, and even after achieving success, their mastermind groups continued so that they could keep improving. After Napoleon Hill's publication of Think and Grow Rich in 1937, his most famous work, A Concentration of Philosophy for Success, the concept of the Mastermind Group developed and evolved to become a key instrument for successful people.